Art at its essence is about knowledge and about expression. Art can come in many forms. Historical teachings, portraits, or in my case, intimate interactions with people. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to highlight 3 specific stories from my background detailing the art of community service. How service is not just a preconceived notion of you spend a few hours on a day, do a little bit of here and there, and then go about the rest of your weekend. In fact, much more meaningful, based on the ideas of reflection, support, and kindness. Let's get started. Story number 1, 17 years old, upperclassman in high school, first generation college student. At least that's the idea. But I am struggling in high school. I am not doing well. One thing to shift that, I start volunteering. I learned about the Big Brothers and Big Sisters program of America in high school. For those of you that don't know, this program is based on the idea of mentorship. If selected, either from a school or a community, you get to actually mentor and bond with a child in need. I apply, I interview, I pass a background check. I am matched with a 12-year-old boy, my partner in crime. His name is Ian. At the time, he's 12 years old. He's coming from a divorced family. He's an only child. I was warned in advance. He is shy and does not open up very easily. I took that as a personal challenge. I'm going to win this kid over. Months in, very little to no progress. I have no idea what to do. My patience is wearing thin. I sometimes feel it's a waste of my time. And I even consider dropping out of the program. But this is where the art of community service comes into play. It is not about me. It's about him. What can I do? Service, paying it forward, taking time out of your day to help someone else in need. Over time, he started to actually open up. And the reason why is because I became something that he was not used to. Consistency. Story number 2. I am now in college. 18, 19, give or take. I start to get involved actually with the campus that I was a student at in their children's area. I'm an education major. I thought, no brainer. I get matched up with a 5-year-old boy. His name is Harrison, a.k.a. Super Iceman, my man. To this day, I have no idea why we call him that or why he loves it. But you take a shy little kid, it brightens up his day vividly. From my memories, it was the best part of my Friday every week. Spend a few hours with him, we have some fun. Then over the course of about 2 or 3 weeks, I don't see him very much. In fact, I don't see him at all. And I have no idea why. But because of confidentiality, I can't necessarily inquire on too many details. One day, I'm supervising recess with all the other kids, trying to make sure they don't get hurt. They go buck wild sometimes. And then I see a woman approach me. Never seen her before in my life. She asked me, "Are you Mr. Lopes?" I said, "Yes." She introduces herself as Harrison's mother. In verbatim, she says, "Today is his first day back. He's been sick the last few weeks. And I wanted to meet you because he speaks very highly of you at home." He is 5 years old. I just started college. That's impact. The lasting impression that you can make through service. During my time in college, I wanted to learn more about behind-the-scenes stuff. Similar to what you're seeing today. You see the presentation, but there's a lot of prep work. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes factors that go into play. I wanted to learn more about the theory of service and how influential it can be. So I started reading. I started getting mentor opportunities. And I remember a New York Times article. It's based on volunteerism and if service is real. Some of the main points featured in the New York Times was the fact that students and people alike, we are the catalyst for completing service, for engaging as volunteers in our local and greater communities. It's less about us, and it's more about the influential ripple effect we can have on others. I now work at a university. I get to do that with other students. Help them with their plan. Help them develop their own ripple effect. And another thing listed in that article was the fact that we are at a university right now. 50 schools across the entire country were polled. And admissions offices time and time again talked about the importance of a candidate and their relationship to service. It helps you develop a student growth mindset. Skills, confidence, networking, opportunity. Those are all measurable outcomes that could come about from you just donating some time every single week. Speaking of students, and speaking of the student growth mindset, story number 3, last but not least, I am in graduate school now. I'm studying my master's in education. And I had the fleeting thought about, I want to volunteer at a crisis center. I want to know what that's like. It's not the glorious thing. It's not the sexiest thing to do. But I want to know, especially as to what's been happening the last few months, and even more so the last few years. I want to know. So I did hard research, also known as a Google search. I found a local agency. I did the same thing with Big Brothers. I applied, I interviewed, and I passed a background check. I spent about the next 2 years volunteering as much as I could. A little bit of everything. And the main thing I want to feature is I'm well aware of how I look, especially if I dress a little more casual. I look like I should be more of a student versus someone on a stage talking to a group of students. So I use that to my advantage. I have a baby face. I'm also a guy that cares about some of these topics. And I was able to go beyond the fact of being just a suit and tie and actually interact with students. Hear what their real thoughts are behind closed doors. And through this work of volunteering at a crisis center, I was able to do some of that. And in fact, there was one specific situation in which 2 people, one boy, one girl, about 15 years old, came up to me, and it was the epitome of body language says everything. You don't even need to speak. There was something they wanted to share. And I had no idea whether or not, should I pull the trigger? Should I be assertive? And about 40 minutes later, I actually ran into those exact 2 people. I decided this is my shot. I went up to them, talked about the importance of advocacy, whether it's a situation that you want to talk about directly with you, or if there's someone else you know that should be advocating for themselves because they're struggling. Gave them some literature, and I wished them the best of luck. I just told you 3 stories talking about the power and promise of community service, the art, so to speak, intimate interactions. And I'm going to leave you with this. This is the honest truth as a first-generation college graduate and a first-generation U.S. citizen. We can ignite change. All you have to do, help people out once in a while. Thank you very much.